You are now tuned in to Hot Topics with Donna. And on this show, we do one thing: keep it real hot. That's honest, open, and transparent. If you didn't know, now you know. So sit back and unwind as we bring the vibe and a little bit of glorious sunshine to your heart, soul, and mind. Your lovely host, Hot Donna, will be with you in just a few moments. But while you wait, go ahead and set an atmosphere of peace in your space. If you can, cut the lights down low, get your hydration on, vibration zone. Cause tonight, you're about to receive some delicious food for your soul. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's about to get hot. You are indeed in the one and only place to be this evening. We appreciate you for joining us, and in just a few moments, we about to turn the heat all the way up. That's right. It's about to go down right now on Hot Topics with Donna. Show your virtual love by smashing that thumbs up and heart icon as many times as you can. And without further ado, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing your host, the one and only Hot Donna.
Woo. Hello, my good people. How are you guys doing? Welcome to Hot Topics with Donna. I am your host, Donna Taylor. Hot stands for honest, open, and transparent. And the word that I always have a word for the guest that I am interviewing. And so the word that I had to have today for her, for me, and for you all that's watching is creativity. And this young lady, she definitely has a lot of creativity styles, but I'm going to read you the scripture because it always is scripture based. So it says, we are what he has made us, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared before to be our way of life. And that comes from Ephesians 2:10. And so I am glad to be back. You guys know if I'm not on, I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, but nevertheless, I am excited about this young lady. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on, and we're going to get started. So if you come on your first time, just come in and say hello so we can chit chat with you guys and welcome you. And the intro music that play all the time. Hey, the intro music was created and composed by my oldest son, so that is my original piece for my Hot Topics. How are you?
Hi, how you doing today?
I'm good.
All
Listen,
right.
thank you, girl. Like I was like rushing, but nevertheless,
It's all right. It's all right. We got time.
Yes, and so I don't know if you heard the word that I chose for you today. The word that I chose for you is creativity. And so how do you come up with your style, your creativity juice when it's flowing? How?
Honestly, in my life, my mom, we did a lot of moving, and it's not because of troubles or anything. My mom just liked to bust a move, once
Right.
she lived in one spot. So I've lived in maybe 12 states.
Wow.
Yeah, all the way from California to Mississippi. I was born in Boston, here in Virginia. So over the years, I kind of collected style from each area and then just kind of made it my own.
Right.
So definitely fashion has always, and I'm the type of person, I like to wear stuff people don't wear.
Girl, you better say it.
I like to, if somebody be like, "Oh, I wouldn't wear that," I'm gonna buy it so I can wear it and show people like, okay, it still can be fly. You just gotta tweak it a little bit.
Absolutely. Because you know why? Because we're so used to keeping up with the trends,
Right.
and I'm like that too. Like, I would prefer to shop at a thrift store than to go to a regular store. And it's not that, I can't afford to go to the stores that I want to go to. But for me, I like the thrift stores. And that's something me and my late husband used to like to do, go to, thrift stores because
Thrifting,
you can
yes.
find some good
I'm
stuff.
I'm trying to tell you, I found a Christian Dior cardigan in Goodwill. It's like a $200 cardigan. I got it for $7.
Yes, and I know my late husband. We went to the Goodwill and he found a nice brand new Stacey Adams suit for $30. Still had the tags on, and the
Ooh,
pants that wasn't even him. So he had to go get him like $30, brand new. But like you said, people they be slipping. But I just think the same thing I can go to the store and get, I might just find it in a
right.
thrift store. And so
Or, you can possibly figure out how to create it yourself.
that's what you do. You should have
Yes,
brought one of
ma'am.
those. Yes, because I know you created an outfit for a show. And so you should have brought that and you should have bought that and showed it.
I actually have two original pieces for the pageant.
Oh, well, I don't want you to show
Oh no,
nobody.
yeah, I'm not gonna show,
You
but
can't show
I
nobody right now.
definitely I have two pieces that I created for the pageant this weekend. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, okay. So tell people who you are and where you reside, and then we just gonna just have some girl talk.
All right. Well, everyone, my name is Patty, and I am from Lynchburg, Virginia. And me and Miss Donna, we've been rocking for a few years now, so
We
everything
have,
is good, and it's always a positive vibe when we're together. So I
yeah,
love being here tonight, and I definitely appreciate the opportunity.
absolutely, absolutely. Sometimes I'd be like, people probably like, what's she doing? She ain't on. But see, you always have to keep people.
Oh
It
yeah,
is because people be trying to see what you're doing, but I'm still working behind the scenes. I'm still doing my thing. So, but I wanted to interview you because, like you said, we've been rocking with each other for a very long time. And one thing that I can say about you, you have always stayed true to who you are. I've never came to a show in VA that you act any different, or when you have came to North Carolina. So
yes,
and
ma'am.
that's one thing that I'm grateful for, because you can't say that about a lot of people. People change when they get around certain people. So,
Oh yeah,
and
thank you.
so
I appreciate that.
yes, and so I saw some stuff on your page, and it was a quote, but you didn't write it, but you agreed with it, and so it resonated with me because I've been there. And it says, "Nobody failed me. I failed me by thinking everybody else had the same love."
Right,
And when I
right,
read that today, I was like, wow, if you want to be honest with yourself, people do that all the time. People do
right,
that all the time. And when I love, whether it's in a relationship or whether it's with my girlfriends, because I don't know how to
right,
have love. Either it's going to be
right.
all or nothing, and that's in any relationship that I have. And so, how has that made you realize that, I got to think about me?
Right. Um, of course, recently, I've been going through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My divorce was final in July of this year. So, life was kind of a little hard behind that. And I had got to the point where I was like, I don't trust nobody. I don't want to love nobody. I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. But then I had to take a step back, and I had to realize, sometimes in life, all the time in life, you really can't control how other people feel. You
Absolutely.
know, so like I had made it to a point where it was like, I got to stop letting other people's feelings and actions and emotions emote onto what I do in life.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
like at one point in time, I was like, I'm not dating nobody that got kids. I don't want to deal with it. And then it's like, well, I love kids.
Right. Right.
So there's no need for me to change that because
Absolutely.
of what I went through with somebody prior to that, because it's not promised to the next person in my future. So I
Absolutely.
definitely had to figure out how to give my love and loyalty to the ones who deserve it.
Right. And so I'm sorry to hear that because your partner, she was amazing. She still is
Yeah,
amazing.
most
But
definitely.
but sometimes, a lot of times in relationships, it just doesn't
Right,
work out, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that they are bad people. It just means that they may not have been for
right,
you, you know.
right,
And sometimes we want what we want when we
right,
want it, and then
right.
when we get what we want when we want it and it doesn't work out, then we have to, step back and say it was two-way, and I can't always just put the blame. So I
Oh,
have to be
right,
accountable for my part in it as well. And a lot of
right.
times we don't want to do that in relationships because, everybody want to say, oh, well, it's a
It
story.
was
But
their fault. Right,
when
right.
we can admit our own faults, then it makes us grow as individuals to know,
Right.
like, you know what, I made this mistake in this relationship. So I don't want to make that same mistake. And so here you are now, divorced. So how does that feel? Because you and your partner was very, very close. And so when I think of separation or divorce, for me, just my personal opinion, it's almost like a death,
Yeah.
even though they still alive, because it's like you was a part of me. And so now here you are. So how are you making sure that you're saying, I want to be whole, I want to be healthy when I meet that next person?
Um, Definitely giving myself time to heal. And like I said, definitely still being open to new things and still, the kid thing is definitely something big for me. I Of course, if I love my partner the way I love my partner, I love the kids.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
so like it's kind of hard to attach yourself. I think that's been the biggest thing, because she did move to Atlanta. So having that 7 hour gap between me and my kids
Mhm.
has literally been the hardest thing.
Right.
But at the end of the day, of course, we all feel some type of way when we feel we've been done wrong. You know,
Absolutely.
and of course we all say things and but then when you sit back and look at it, I
Mhm.
also tell people when they be like, oh well, you shouldn't feel like that. She did this and that, blah, blah, blah. That's the mother of my kids. I'm going to
Absolutely.
always wish her the best because
Absolutely.
I want the best for my kids. I don't never want anything to happen to her.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. And I
Right.
don't understand how people think in that logic sometimes. Now,
Mhm.
anger can overcome a lot of your emotions, but
Absolutely.
at the same time, when you sit down and be logical and think about it, why would I want my kids to go through any type of pain behind something happening to their mom?
And that's so powerful because a lot of times when we're in these relationships and kids are involved, we forget as an adult that whatever our actions are, there's going to be a consequence not only for us, but also for our children. And
Right,
so when we think out of emotions, yes, it does happen, but sometimes we have to take a step back and say, ooh, is this going to be, because I know how I feel, but it's not about you anymore when you have other little
right,
people or even big people that's saying, ooh, this is not good for me. And then we don't want to taint them or damage them. So when
right,
they get in these relationships, they don't know how to cope, they don't know how to function.
right, right, right,
And that's a powerful thing. But at the end of the day, you're going to still be parents, and that's the most important thing, learning how to co-parent, because some
right,
people don't know how to co-parent.
right.
That's just
It's hard, it's hard sometimes. And of course, like I said, the distance, sharing the holidays and trying to figure things out along that aspect. But we kind of discuss everything. Like they're coming up here for Christmas and she's gonna meet me halfway. So,
that's
like we try to compromise,
and that's the best way. If you can compromise, that's always the best way. And so now, since you're in this journey, you're also on your own journey with your modeling.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so how did that all come about?
Honestly, I actually did the very first pageant Crystal was in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she called me and she recited a poem and she wanted me to dance while she did her poem. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, I'm like, yeah. She was like, well, they need models too, and you love the runway. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. And after that first little show, it was a go after that.
And you haven't stopped since.
No, ma'am. And I love it. I love it.
And you are very, very, and for me to watch you, you have so grown over the years. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm not saying you didn't have confidence, but your confidence level now exudes from when I first saw you.
Okay. Thank
You see, because you know how we do. We come on the runway, we like, I'm gonna give them a little bit of this,
you.
and then
A
I'm gonna
little.
go back into my shell. But like over the years, girl, you have exude confidence, and like I said, and like for me, I exude confidence, but I'm so just calm with my
Right.
eyes. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I love it when you do your leans. I was like, oh, look at her, like, oh, and I'm so thankful for that because a lot of times we we always get in our head and think like, what do people think? Like, what do people
Right.
really think when we come out on the runway? Because the first thing most people think we are stuck up, we're arrogant. But listen, honey, you don't know the process that we go through backstage, trying to
Right.
get fitted, trying to get tucked and pulled, and just to say, okay, I got this. Because every time I hit that runway, I'm always nervous. Every time I do a praise dance, I'm always nervous. Every time
Right.
I do this podcast, I'm always nervous. Girl, it's like people don't realize the prep stuff I go through
Right.
just to get my mind because I'm like, okay, God, it's me and you out here. Because for me, every time I do a podcast, it's not about the numbers. It's about letting people know that we're ordinary people doing extraordinary things in our lives and in our community, and let people know that you ain't the only one that's maybe going through something. It's just
Right.
that however we choose to deal with it, that's what people need to know.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's what people need to know. And so here you are as a model, as a mom. So how do do you work full time and all of this stuff? How do you schedule like what shows you go to and just overall just having time management with your schedule?
You know what? I was just talking to a few of my friends about that. I was like, after this pageant, I might have to pump my brakes a little bit because I have so much lined up. Like I have a 8-episode web series coming out, and I'm one of the main characters. And like the shooting is here and here. Got to go here to shoot, here to shoot, and then like even this weekend, I got a photo shoot Friday, pageant Saturday, photo shoot Sunday. So it's like
Wow.
it can be hard, and at times you do want to do everything. You want to try to promote yourself as much as possible,
Right?
but I do work a full-time job. Yesterday I received my management, so today will be my last night on third shift.
Yes, yes.
Man, so hard work has definitely been paying off.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
With my job, this is the first time, and I want to say this is why I hung with them so long. This is the first time I've ever had every weekend off.
Oh wow.
So,
Yeah, that's a plus.
right, it's definitely been helpful being off on the weekends because majority of the shows are either a Friday or a Saturday. And being I was
Yeah.
working third, I'll get off Friday at 7 in the morning, so I'll have my whole week. So
Mm.
it it is hard. It is definitely hard to manage sometimes because my schedule is different from your schedule. When you're asleep,
Absolutely.
I'm up.
Right,
And
right.
then when you're getting up, I'm going to sleep. So you
Mm-hmm.
know how it is with these group messages. You'll have the main group message,
Girl.
and then if you get picked for 5 designers, you got 5 more group messages, and it can become a little hard to keep up with.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah,
Overwhelming.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Because and that's one thing, like, I don't mind the group text, when we're doing shows or, designers. But when people start asking all these questions and all that other stuff, it gets too overwhelming. And then I don't have time to scroll
To
back and forth.
scroll. And I mean, you'll wake up and have 100 messages. I'm
Yes,
like,
yes. Or it's constantly going off, ding, ding, And so that's one thing that in this industry that we're in, I don't like those type of group chats, especially when, it goes off all the time.
right.
And so I know, have you ever been to New York Fashion Week yet?
I have not. I have
So,
not.
so is that like part of your goal that you would like to do?
Yes. And honestly, I want to be international. So if I could skip New York and go straight to Paris or something like that, like I was very blessed to travel to Ireland this year. And in the midst of me being over there, of course, I'm American, of course, and they're close. It's a lot of Africans that be Ireland or whatnot. And a lot of the people was like, your style, I can tell you're not from here, you're not from around.
Right.
Like, and I just learned that basically anywhere you go, you're going to be recognized if you're different.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can go outside in Lynchburg and somebody will be like, where you from? I'm from here. What do you mean? It's my city. But the way I dress or the way I carry myself or the way I present myself may seem bigger than where I am. So I love my city now. I definitely love but I definitely do want to get to a place where I can have bigger opportunities and walk Fashion Week in New York would be love.
Yeah, because you got the hype. And so at this point in your modeling career, like what do you enjoy most about it? Do you want to do print, high fashion, or you just like the whole collective concept of it?
Well, no, this won't sound crazy because I mean it's just how I am. But honestly, I love before the show. I love talking to the girls. I love hyping everybody up. Like it's a beautiful thing in the back, like
Right.
everybody don't get to see what goes on behind
Right.
doors. But
Mm-hmm.
as women, we all come together. Like I always tell everybody when we in the line to line up, check the person in front of you.
Absolutely.
Don't let your sister walk out there with her slip hanging out or her bra sticking out or something.
Yes.
Like that's where I feel like I get my energy from. Like when
Okay.
I come to the back, like if it's I walk in and everybody quiet and I'm like, oh no, I'm about to turn y'all up. We about to have a
Right.
good vibe. We
Right.
about to have a good time. If you fall today, roll around and make sure they the prettiest pictures that you gonna have on the floor and get up and keep on walking. Like, sometimes, and I do believe bringing that energy to the show, I think is what pushes me through everything. And I really
Absolutely.
don't have a favorite because I love photography. I love taking pictures. And then I also love getting out there on the runway. So it's kind of even.
And so how do you handle, if you have or not, like conflict, or not even conflict, but like the attitudes, because you've been to some shows or we've been backstage in the energy, because I go off what I feel,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the energy is off and you're like so how do you handle yourself or reset yourself to not get into that piece of it?
Right. Right. You know what? Things can get catty. We are like, if a show starts at 3, us models, we there by 10 o'clock. So it's like all day in a room with the same, like, so it
Yes.
can, about time the show starts, it can be a little high intensity. So sometimes I'll, like, if I walk past somebody and I feel something's not right, hey, you good? You need me to do anything for you? Ready for
Right.
the show? Like, I still try to stay positive in even
Absolutely.
negative light. Like,
Hmm.
I've had people call me out about my body size. I know I ain't got no butt. I know that. You ain't got to tell me I ain't had one my whole life. But at the end of the day, I don't need you to announce that to the world. I don't need you, So sometimes
Absolutely.
people are jokingly about things. It
Hmm.
might not be a joke to the other person.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
I could struggle with my size. You don't know that because you never asked me, but you automatically went to jokes.
Right.
So
And so since you went there, so have you ever struggled with your being tiny?
yes, I have. I definitely have. I wouldn't say like anorexic or anything
Right.
like
Right.
that. It's just a mind thing for me. Like a lot of people think that because I dress masculine, I want to be a man. And
Hmm.
when I was younger, I'm so tall and so slim. It was hard for me to find pants that can really fit me and look good.
Hmm.
As women, we want to make sure the pants hugging your butt, right?
Right.
You don't
Right.
got that little pouch in the front. And
Right.
so like now, of course, nowadays it's way more clothes and way
Hmm.
more. Back in the day, it was either they was gonna be too long or they was gonna be too big, and too short or too big. So I felt more comfortable in men's clothes. Okay. It's not that I didn't like wearing women's clothes or whatnot. I just felt more comfortable dressing masculine. Absolutely. So like it's definitely hard. Like, when I had once tried on some pants for a designer and they was like a 0 and she was like, dang girl. I'm like, I know. What do I go to next? A 00, -1? What's the next joke? Like I'm already set up for the negative talk.
But that's the thing, that you shouldn't have to be set up for the negative talk. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I always say, and even with my girls in my mentor organization, we have to be comfortable in our own skin, whether we're 2 or size 22. It does not matter. But like you said, it doesn't give people the right just to be like, oh, well, you're not in a 0 or you're not in a 10. And because you don't never know, for one, it's disrespectful. For two, you don't even know what headspace that person it may be in, and you don't know what it took for them to get there. And then now I come here to do a service, but now I'm being criticized because I am not
right.
Yeah, because I had a designer. I was at a show, and it was probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I put on her garment, and she was like, oh, are you gonna hold your stomach in? Like I had a little pooch or whatever. Right. And I looked at her, but my I'm just gonna keep it honest, open, and transparent, because that's what we do here. Like my old self wanted to tell her what she can do with her garments, because I just wanted to take it off because I didn't want to walk for you, because I'm like, I'm walking for you, but you giving me little respect. But because of who I am now, I went on out there and wore her design. But I told myself, you can't ask me to even put on a pair of socks for you. Right. To walk in. Because I'm like, now what if I just would have just slapped you right there on the spot? Like, hello?
Right. Now we're standing here looking crazy at each other.
And so I had 2 model sisters like, let's just go ahead. We're going to get through with this. Because had they not, I'm just saying, I don't know. Like, I looked at her and I'm just like, you better be glad, because that old person, you probably.
Yeah, a lot of people, like, words do hurt. I don't know. I don't understand what people.
Yes, because and I don't know if you saw a show. I told somebody, you remember when we was growing up, they used to say sticks and stones may break my bones, but word never hurt. And I was like, that's a lie. People been telling us that all our lives. That is a freaking lie. Right. Because do you know how many children now, or even us as an adult now, heard these negative words and they still somewhere stay with us and start to fester when someone kind of push towards that mark. And so that's why I don't tell kids like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words do hurt you, because once those words leave your mouth, you can't reel them back in. You can't erase them. They're there.
Right. And especially if it's words that come from somebody that you love, or somebody that you cherish, like it's a different thing. Like, if you see somebody on the street that says something to you, you might say something back and shrug your shoulders and keep it going. But if I said those same words to you, you might feel different, because we have history, we have, so.
And Queen said words hurt. Queen said words hurt more than physical. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely. But like you said, people, we have to be, I found, in this modeling thing, and it's just me. The more I do shows, the more it's like it's changing. Right. It's like it's more of, every time we go, it's more of a competition, when it should be more of a love, more of a sisterhood. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're coming there to be the best of friends, but we should be coming there in unity and as one. Right. And like you said, if my sister, hair ain't fixed, like fix it in the back, or whatever is going on, to make her know, like, hey, she may got a bad walk, but she's always making sure her sister is straight when she hit that runway.
Oh yeah.
And that's how we should always be.
Most definitely.
What she said, Charlene said celebrating each other. And that's a hard thing sometimes that we have a hard time doing
Right.
as African American women. It may happen in other cultures, but I can't speak about other cultures. But we have a hard time celebrating each other. And we shouldn't. We should just say, you know what? I love you for
Right.
you. And
Right.
I want you to succeed because this is me. Why do I not want to see my sisters grow?
Right.
We may be doing the same thing, but your audience may be over here and mine may be over here. And it doesn't mean that, hey, we can't collaborate. It doesn't mean that we can't celebrate each other. It just means like, hey, girl, I see you because you know what? At the end of the day, if I'm staying in my lane and you stand in yours, we're going to still get where we're supposed to be.
Right.
But we don't have to beat each other down trying to get there.
Right. If we both take a stop at place, we can make it across the street safely.
You're right about that. You're right about that. And so, what would you say is your strength when it comes to this runway?
You know what? I could truly say it's my confidence. You know, like I said, I'm the type of person I always tell myself, you know, even if you go out here and you fall, make it graceful. You know, like if people laughing, okay, cool. We all gonna laugh, hee hee ha ha, and I'm still gonna get up and take the best picture that you didn't seen all day.
Right.
And I'm still gonna keep it moving. Like, and I do get nervous. I have some days where, you know, I get ready to step out there and I my nerves, but I love people. You know, I love making people smile. If me turning a few circles on the runway gonna have you smiling, then I'm gonna get out there and swip them circles. Thank you. Thank you, love.
And look, this is the thing. And I always tell people, and just like, we always tell our cheerleaders, like, if you mess up, keep your face, honey, keep that smile because they have no clue what we done practiced.
Right.
No clue. Like, and that's how we had to do when we praise dance. If I do another step, people don't know if that was part
it.
of
Right.
what we practiced. And so, and just like you said, if God forbid somebody fall, hey, you better make like that was part of that that act that you was getting ready to be in. So you can be like, no, y'all thought, hey.
I'm
And
trying to
then,
tell you, it's gonna be
yeah,
some pretty shots, baby. I'm gonna be a mermaid
yes,
laying on the.
Terry said your personality is amazing, and it
Thank
is.
you so much. Thank you.
And so, go ahead.
What was that?
I said, so what have been your greatest accomplishment being on the runway and even in the modeling industry?
You know what? I did I did a show in Richmond about a year and a half ago. And I think that was my biggest show, and it was definitely a big accomplishment for me. I had drove to Richmond, which is like 2 hours away from me, every weekend for 4 months for this show. So I was definitely dedicated, and it was definitely a big accomplishment for me because I had to learn, you know, some designers want you to walk this way, or I don't want you to do that, or I don't want you to do that. So sometimes you do have to learn to walk, or you do have to learn certain things for certain designers. But that was a big show that I was in. I'm hoping at the beginning of the year, I don't want to throw myself out there, but I really feel like I've hosted a show. I've been in shows. I think it's time for me to throw my own. So I might be giving y'all a little Winter Wonderland bash in the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
because you have to step out on faith for
Yeah.
one. And you have to know that if you've been good to people, and if people really love you and care about you, they're going to reciprocate that back to you.
All right, that's my uncle right there.
Oh, okay. They're gonna give that back to you. And so that's why it's so important how you treat people. It is so important on how you even handle yourself and conduct yourself at a show, because you don't know who's watching. You don't
Right.
know who's there in the show. You don't know who's in the audience. And all it takes is one person to discover you.
Right.
And
Right.
if you're not doing your thing on the runway with class and style, you may have just missed that opportunity because you choose to do other stuff. And that's like me. And I tell my students, you have to be careful. Oh, Miss D, I'm going to the bathroom, but then they going all the way across the school. But then people email me like, oh, good Johnny, not where
Oh,
they supposed to be.
right.
And I
Right.
tell them, whatever we do, good or bad, it's going to be a consequence. So whatever I do, good or bad, is always going to be a consequence. So that's why, are we going to be perfect? Absolutely not. But we must hold our own self accountable if nobody else is going to hold
Most
themselves accountable.
definitely. And being men and women of your word.
Yes,
Like you said with little Johnny, like you told me you was going to the bathroom and I found you on the other side of the school. So now
yeah.
the next time you tell me something, I just might not believe you.
Oh, I don't. So I'll be like, no.
Yeah, so definitely, like when it comes to these shows and stuff, like there's always hiccups, there's always things that
Absolutely,
go
absolutely,
left or whatnot, but no, when you're dealing with 40, 50 models, there has to be some type of understanding and agreement, because if not, you're going to have 50 models asking you 50 questions all day.
absolutely,
And then
absolutely. But you see
about
what I
time
do?
and
I just find me a little corner
right.
and I stay.
Yeah, right.
I say, you give me the lineup, you tell me what to do. I mean, because I like to be out of people's way, but I also like to stay focused on what I'm coming
What's
to
going
do.
right,
What
right,
you know,
right, right.
what I'm coming to do. Hey, Crystal. And so, how far have you traveled? You said New York. Was New York the furthest you've driven to a show?
Um, you know what? I think it was Louisiana was a little bit longer drive.
Mm.
Yeah. I drove down to Louisiana for a show and
I mean, I think the furthest I've driven was Virginia.
okay.
Even before I started doing Lynchburg with Miss Danielle, that's how I started doing fashion shows with
Okay.
her, through her mama, Miss Teresa.
Right.
And so I always go to Richmond and stuff like that. But how do you decide what show you're going to do? And then also, how do you prepare monetarily wise to say, like, I got this, but I want to do this show?
Right. Um I definitely think of things like
Hey, Kim.
networking wise.
Right.
Like hey Puddin. Um um like this past show. I wasn't gonna come because it really wasn't in my budget, but the Lord worked it out for me to come.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of people there. Like Miss Jonice had a lot of important people in the audience, and in the
Absolutely.
midst of me walking down the runway, I'm trying to read sashes and I'm trying to look at people like, oh, okay, you were this person. But I felt like I presented myself so well over the weekend. I really didn't have to network. People came to me, which felt so good.
Yes.
It actually
Yes.
felt good for somebody to hand me their card and be like, hey, I was looking for you. I want to work with you. Contact me. And I
Right.
had a few people, so it definitely felt good to know that somebody wants to work with you.
Mhm.
It's kind of, it makes you want to do things more.
Absolutely.
Like if you
Absolutely.
hear about a show, it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'll do it if I can. But if that designer or that host hop in your inbox and it's like, hey, I want you on my runway, please try to make things happen.
Right.
When somebody wants your presence, that's when I try to push to be there. Even
Absolutely.
if I'm not getting paid, if you're
Right.
asking for me to come and perform and,
Right.
just be me, that's a privilege for me. I'm definitely going to try my hardest to be there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so you mentioned performing. So how did you come about? Because would you call yourself a spoken word artist?
Yeah, I've actually been writing poetry and rapping since I was a little girl.
Wow.
Yeah, my family is very music talented. Like, my mother was the oldest of 13. I'm the baby of 9.
Hey,
I come
Paul.
from a huge family. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody, like my mom's brothers and sisters, they was the whole choir for the church. It was that many of them
Wow.
that they was literally the choir. So music has been something that's always been a part of me. My father is published in a book. He writes poetry. So
Wow.
it's definitely been something instilled into me. You know,
Mm.
when my brothers used to rap, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm in my room like ABC. Like, I'm trying to put it together. Then
Right,
the
right,
next little get together, I'm like, y'all, listen to this. I've always been the center of attention. I'm the baby.
right,
I'm the baby girl. So I've always been
right.
the type that want to come and stand in front of the TV and show everybody something, or I want y'all to come outside and watch me do this dance. So years of being center of the attention with my family kind of makes it easier for me to
Mm-hmm.
be
Out
out
in
there
open.
in,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can be a crowd of 10 or it can be a crowd of 10,000. Either way it goes, your nerves are still going to be the same, you know. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
whew,
And see, and I'm totally opposite. Like I'm comfortable in whatever setting that I'm in,
mhm,
but I also, when I walk into a place, I already feel the atmosphere. I already feel, whatever's going on. Like I am very observant that way
right.
because for one, my late husband always said, you always need to know your exit points, like, wherever they're at. It
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter if you're in the church. And so for me, I'm that way. And then being a military brat, I'm that way too, because I need to know my surroundings.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter if I'm in a $100 plate situation, but I still need to know my surroundings. But
Right.
I'm very quiet. I'm a people person, but a lot of people don't think I am, but I am. But
Right.
I'm very low key. I am so low key, and I'm doing better,
Yeah.
pushing myself better. Because when I be doing them red carpets, girl, you don't know. I'll be like, what?
Right. But you know what? And you hold it down every time with style and grace every time.
But and this is the thing. I know that I love people. And I know I love interviewing people. And people be like, when you gonna be interviewed? Never. I don't want because when I get interviewed, it's not that I'm hiding. It's just that I don't. Because people know me like people pretty much should know
No,
who I am
right.
now on
Right.
this live because I've cried on this live, I've been vulnerable on this live. So when they interview me, I'm just like, and then I'd be wondering, do my guests feel that way? Like they're in the hot seat? And I'm like,
Right. Right. Right.
but no, but I just love like that one song, because it's kind of like a song slash poem. Um, Krista said, you definitely stepped out of your car. Girl, you better know. I'm like, and so people think when I do this, it just comes easy. It does come easy, but like I said, when I'm here and I'm getting ready, and because like sometimes I have my outfits, I'll be like I'm going to prom, I'll be jazzed up. Oh, I'll get it back on. But like when I come on here, guys, trust and believe, I have to get my mind prepared for this. And I'm gonna bring her back on. Just hold on. I have to get my mind prepared. So don't ever think when I come on here it is easy because I get nervous. And I remember when I first really started doing these lives and I had this nice kind of like peach dress and I had a little cleavage showing. And I remember my oldest son, the one that wrote the song for the show, he asked me after I got off, he was like, hey, was just wondering, were you having a hot topics or were you trying to sell, some
Sell
fruit
some
or
hot
whatever?
topics.
Right. So but I take a lot of pride in what I do. I just appreciate my guests, because a lot of people they share things on here that they've never shared before,
Right.
and I don't
Right.
take that for granted. And I know it's nothing but Christ because I feel that I make them relax, because sometimes we do cry, and it's okay.
Right.
It,
It is.
it's okay, and
Definitely
so
is.
you got this show coming up. Before we talk about the show, are you coming to Diamond Show? Are you coming to next weekend?
Uh, no, I'm not. I'm supposed to be in Jersey next weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I got a lot going on from here on to the end of the year.
And so you said you're going to take a break.
Definitely, I am. I actually have been invited to a fashion show in Brooklyn, New York in April, Spring Line.
Okay.
And I will be showing my first collection. So I really want to focus. Thank you. Thank you. I really want to focus on that and make sure that I have everything ready. So, trying to still do shows, and I mean, it's possible, it's definitely possible. But right now I just got so much going on. I definitely have to take a step back. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, hey, Karen. But, and so let me ask you this. So you sew, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, like, I wish I could show you. I got a sewing machine over there I got for like Mother's Day.
it's still sitting over.
So, let me tell you, my neighbor, now this is how good God is. Like my neighbor, she sewed for Wrangler.
Okay.
And so my girlfriend and I were sitting on the porch and she came over and chit chatted. And so the same style that I had in my head, because my original pieces, I want to have American and African mixed together.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So how about the same vision I had? She already had the look on the paper.
Oh, okay.
And I told my girlfriend, I said, all this time I've been living next door, had no idea
Who you was
that she's
beside?
been doing it. Yes. And so she was like, I will help you sew. So what I did to create creativity, I went and bought a army jacket,
Okay.
not the regular ones. They have different styles.
Right.
And I had a dress that I cut and made the shirt because it had like the little belt, so it could be a crop top. But then I took the bottom piece and cut it and sewed it to the bottom of the army jacket.
Oh, yes.
And so I
Okay.
was just like, but my thing is, and I'm asking you, how did you just get started? Because that's the thing. I know once I get started, I'll get addicted and I want to go, go, go.
Oh, yeah.
But how can you give me some pointers on how to get started and not to let this sewing machine stay over there to another's mother's?
Right. Definitely you want to start off with smaller projects so you don't overwhelm yourself. Like the first thing I made was a swimsuit, which was easy, triangle top, underwear bottom.
You said that's easy. So how like
you know what I did? I actually took a pair of my underwear and cut them and used them as the pattern.
Okay.
So I put them down on the fabric and I pinned it and I cut the fabric out, so I knew it would fit because they was my underwear.
Right.
And then
so
the same.
I just need to get like a nice style underwear so the bathing suit itself can be nice.
Right.
According to the panties that I use.
Yeah.
And
it definitely sometimes you'll have the needle break or you'll have the string keep popping. When it comes to these machines, you got to tweak it. Like this week I was working and my string kept slipping out the needle and I'm thinking like, what? Then I realized I was hitting that pedal too fast, so I had to slow it down a little bit because my string wasn't catching. But sometimes it'll be the simplest things. Like you'll have something like you're about to throw it away and you'll be like, well, shoot, I can add some patches to this and put a couple holes in it and shred it right here and it'll be a whole nother outfit.
Right. Because even the designer I had, he's top notch in New York. And he told me, he said, go to the thrift stores, get garments, and he said, take them apart and sew them back together.
Oh, yeah.
But my thing is just getting started. I mean, and I guess for me, that's a fear.
Right.
Just to get started because it's like I don't even know where to begin, and like my girlfriend, Robin, she was like, I know how to sew, but girl, you ain't gonna always be here when I need you, when I got an idea that I need. Because I have ideas of how I want my style, but the thing for me is not being afraid of that machine that's sitting over there.
Well, listen, baby. I'm not gonna lie to you. My machine is right here to the right of me. I keep it right beside me, and I've been rolling. So if you ever want to FaceTime me, we can have a sewing session together. We can learn together. I can teach you what I know, and we can, uplift each other. I'm more than willing to help.
Like I said, since Mother's Day.
Yeah, ain't no need for it to collect dust. We need to go on and make that thing rumble.
But that's my goal. That's my goal. But I just, like you, I'm thinking about revamping, with my podcast and stuff. So I got my son, thank God, he's into marketing and stuff like that. He's
Yes,
working
because
on
your song sounds, your intro song, I was
yeah.
listening like, okay, yeah. And he
I
got the
know.
smooth voice.
Listen, my girlfriend's gonna be like, oh, he sounds sexy.
He do. He got the smooth radio voice.
Yeah, so and legit, he made that song within like 5 minutes on a Sunday before he went to church. And like, your song is hot when your grandkids be like, Gigi, that song is, but it was kind of not raunchy, but he had some words in there. And when I listened to it, I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But then I listened again, I was like, I called him. He was like, I was wondering when you was going to catch that little star part in there.
Right.
But I do, and so he's going to make a closing. But I am just thankful that I've been doing this now almost 3 years.
Right.
Almost 3 years. And so after you do all this, what's going to be next for Patty? What should we be looking out for Patty?
You know what? My little brain be so all over the place. I do dibble dabble in everything. I've actually been writing a book called Denying the Obvious. So, I mean, it might take me a little while because it's definitely got some chapters, but I've been working on that. You know what? I just want to get more. My platform for the pageant is depression and anxiety. And it's a silent killer. Like, it's really a silent killer. Like, strong people like ourselves. Yeah, I'm strong. I'm strong in your face, but when I come home and close my door, I might not be as strong as you think I am.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I can respect that because I've been there. And the thing about it is, people think being depressed is so taboo. No, we got to be in tune with what we're feeling because we know the outcome that some people, even celebrities, we know their outcome.
Right.
So we need to be honest with ourselves and say, hey, I'm not good today. And if you're not good today, what can I do? Or you got to have that person that that's not going to be like, well, it's going to be, listen, I don't need you to tell me it's okay. What I need you to do is say, what do you need me to help you do?
Right.
I don't need you to tell me that it's going to be okay because you don't know how I feel.
Right. And, I tell people, like, when it comes to depression and stuff like that, it has no age limit. It has no age limit. I've met kids that's been depressed. I've met elderly people that's been depressed. It has no age limit at all.
And my cousin said, it's okay not to be okay. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
She said, Jaquana said, oh, look, I got a sewing machine. And yet it's not being used. Girl, I'm telling you.
It sounds like we might have to have a Zoom call and all start sewing some stuff together.
Thank you, Jaquana. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I get messages like this is why I do what I do, because it touches me. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know who need what. And like I'm a firm believer, if you touch one,
you done made a difference.
You done made a difference.
You done made a difference. Yeah. I try to tell people, like, overall, my whole life, I've been a happy person. I was a class clown in school. Like, I love making people laugh. Hey, Daisy. I do love people because, like I said, with my mother moving us around, I've had to adapt and be the new girl so many times. Like, after the 4th or 5th time, it's like, hey, y'all, I'm Patty. I'm from Virginia. Like, I just got comfortable with being in front of crowds. You got some teachers back in the day, they'll make you stand up and introduce yourself to everybody. And if you don't have that confidence in that moment, it could make or break how your year is going to go.
Girl, let me tell you. So they done put me, left from preschool, being a testing coordinator, and now they're gonna put me in a classroom. Girl.
Right.
So when I first got in there, I was just like, because I always told the Lord, I ain't doing high school.
Right.
See, I ain't set up for that. But I'm gonna tell you the God's honest truth. This has been such a year for me, and we're not even halfway there. And like for me to reach these kids now,
right,
it's been a blessing because some they call me Miss D, some call me Miss Donna, some call me Miss Taylor. Whatever you want to call me, just make sure you respect me. But they also know that I'm not playing with them. I had one kid was like, Miss D, I used to run this class. Talking about last year, I ran it. I was like,
used
I
to.
said, well, and I said, doesn't you chef and tell? He was like, yeah, man. He was like, Miss D, you ain't playing.
And
No,
I
I'm not. And I said, one of the two things gonna do. You're gonna love me or you're gonna hate me. But my job is to make sure that I get you up out of here with this credit that you felt.
right,
And that's what they're doing. And so now, I like you just said, I can have those honest talks with them. I can have those like, listen, I don't know what you're trying to do, but you got to get yourself together.
right, right.
But
Definitely.
these kids go through so much, and like you said, with this depression, we have to treat people as if we don't know
What
what they're finna do.
they going through. Right,
Because
right,
at the end of the day, I say I don't want to be the cause of someone
right,
not
right,
not surviving.
right. You're right. And we got to check. We have to check more. Like I
Yeah.
had a friend, I had posted some of my stuff and she had commented on one of my pictures and she was like, yeah, Angela would have been so proud of you. And I'm like, would have? Now, the lady that she was talking about, I had worked with this lady for like 3 or 4 years. We worked third shift together at a gas station. It was just me and her. So we
Wow.
were real close. I spent time with her family and all of that. And then she inboxed me and I was like, would? She was like, yeah. Angela died last year from cancer. And girl, it broke me down. When I tell you, I
Right.
still feel some type of way about it now.
Right.
One, I feel some type of way because she was gone for a whole year before me as a friend knew
Right.
that. And then
Right.
in me personally, in my friend level, I was disappointed in myself.
Absolutely. But see, that's real talk. But see, people don't want to have these real talks about themselves because, like I said, I try to make sure I reach out to people. And
Right.
sometimes it gets hard, but there's no excuse because we make time for whatever we want to make time for.
Baby, you can make time to scroll on TikTok. You can hit
Yes.
that button to call
Yes.
somebody. Right.
Absolutely. And like you said, depression is a silent killer. It's a
It
silent
is.
killer. And it does not discriminate.
At
It
all.
does not, it does not, it does not. And that's why when I talk to people, I want to know, hey, are you good?
Yeah.
Are you good?
Literally, how are you doing?
You ain't have to fake the funk with me. If you say no, sis, I ain't good, I need to talk to you. Listen, I'm available.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You know
you
what? I even had to tell my managers that, like, being now, I've always been in management, but working at Walmart this last couple of years, I've taken a step back because COVID had people out here tripping. So I had to take a step back from, customer service. But like just talking to my coworkers and everything, get ready to go into management. Like when you come into work, I'm the type of manager. Donna, how was your day today?
right,
How your kids doing? Did you make, like what you eat today? You hungry? How you feeling? You
right.
have to physically care about people.
Yes,
I'm not
not
gonna
fake,
have you
not
come
fake
into
now.
yeah,
You can't be fake.
right. Like I'm not gonna have you come into work and criticize you for what you did last night and then expect you to work hard for me today. It don't work like that. I even had to I had to tell my bosses because we have a meeting every morning, every night before we go on the sales floor. And I tell them, I said, the way that y'all talk to people and the things that y'all say will set the mood on how your work gonna get done tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shannon said many suffer in silence, even in the crowd. That really helps your employees. Absolutely, because I'm telling you, we're living in a day that people, like you said, even the strong people that you think that never go through anything because, like you said, you walk around with a smile. People are suffering in silence. And like you said, if you care about them, even if you don't know them, but if you see them every day, and you look at them, you should be able to say, Donna ain't herself today.
Right. Right.
Even if you don't work with me for 3 months, in 3 months, you already kind of know how I am, what I
How?
come in, how I
Right.
move. You should know if somebody is acting different or they're not saying much, you should be saying, hey, what's going on? Because like even when, I lost my husband, like my girlfriend, them, they would call me, hey, I wouldn't answer. They texted me, hey, I wouldn't answer. And then it was just a chain effect. And then at the end, they were like, listen, I know that you're dealing with this, but you need to let us know if you are okay, because
Right.
if not, we're coming.
Right.
You
And
know,
that's real friends.
we're coming because you haven't answered your phone, and I just tell them, listen, I'm having a moment. You know, and so I had to be able to say I'm having a moment, because I had to learn that I can't depend on them to always be there in my grief, because they
Right.
had their own life. But I needed to know that I'm okay. If I don't want to talk today, I'm okay. It doesn't mean that I'm going to do nothing crazy. It just means that I'm having a moment, and
Oh yeah.
my mind cannot handle anything else. And that's what we need to let people know. Even if you're having a moment, just know I'm here
I'm
for
here.
you in that
Right.
moment.
Right. Right.
Because I've dealt with depression and it doesn't feel good.
It
It doesn't
doesn't.
feel good. And it's the funniest thing, it's not funny, but I didn't even know I was depressed until I went to the doctor. I
Girl,
didn't
ain't that
even
crazy?
know.
Thinking
I
that you
didn't
just going
even know.
through everyday life
Right.
stuff and you really depressed.
Right.
Right.
Didn't even know that I was depressed until I went to the doctor and we just started talking. And, I was, they ask you how you feel,
Right.
this and that. And then
Like I'm
finally,
tired. I don't want to eat. I
right.
don't have the energy to
And
do.
when I
You
took
thinking
that
it's just
test,
fatigue, but it's
when I
like,
took
no,
that,
baby.
no, I took that depression test. I was so shocked at myself, because I was like, but I got this, you know,
Right.
I
Right.
got this, but apparently I didn't.
Right. And
But
then sometimes your mind will say one thing and your body will speak another way.
it will speak a whole
A
nother language.
whole
And
nother
that's
way.
why
Like that
I'm so thankful.
laying in the bed and sleeping and
Girl,
not
yes,
wanting to do anything, it's real.
yes.
I
Hey,
have I
Sarah.
have had
Yes,
days when
yes,
I do not want to get up and
yes.
even say hi to nobody.
Right. And that's why we have to be
Hey,
strategic.
hey, Tosh.
Hey, Tosh.
Bye.
That's why we have to be strategic about the people that we love, the people that we encounter, because at the end of the day, we do not want that on us to say, dang, I knew she was off 3 days ago, but if you knew, you should just be like, listen, you're not acting, what's
Now
going
you're
on?
not the
Like,
same.
you're not acting like yourself. I ain't trying to get in your business, but
And
I
look,
just want to know.
Crystal said, been like that for the last couple of weeks. And who been in your inbox every morning?
Oh God, it's truly real. Oh yeah. And see, and that's what I'm saying. We have to be so strategic about our love for people. It can't be I love you today, but when you don't call me or text me, I
I
ain't
ain't
gonna love you. No,
right.
love me even when I'm down, love me when I'm off, love me when I'm jacked up.
Right, right. And sometimes you got to learn how to read between the lines. I know a
We
lot of people post
absolutely.
stuff on social media because, oh, I like the quote or I like the, but in
You got
real life, you like the
to-
quote, but that's really what you're going through.
Absolutely,
So when I see
absolutely.
something like that, I'm in your inbox.
And see, and that's
I've
me.
inboxed people that I don't even know.
Right. And see, and that's me. I don't, when I see people going through, or like you say, you see their posts, I go to their inbox. I don't
Yeah, I
respond
don't
on
respond on
their
this.
page, because
Right,
that's
right,
nobody's business. I need you to be able to say, listen, chick, I don't have it together. I need you to be over here in 5 minutes. And if you don't get here in 5 minutes, I don't know what might
right,
happen. You know what
right. So I'll be there in
I'm saying?
three.
But
See you
we
in
got to
three.
stop. We got to stop being so selfish sometimes. And that is the real truth. People can say, oh, it ain't that. Yes, it is.
Right.
We make time for what we want to make time, but we need to start making time for people that we know that's hurting. If I see that you're different, I need to say, listen, I ain't trying to be in your business, but I need to know, hey,
Yes,
what's really
Queen.
more known because you ain't been smiling like you usually coming in here with your jolly self. And people think, oh, well, maybe she just having her day. Hey, that day could cost them their life.
Right.
When you don't
And you know,
say,
like
hey,
I
here
don't
I
know if
am.
everybody has this gift, but I feel it. I can feel it. Like if
Yeah.
if I walk past you, I had this one little man that I work with, and every time I walk past him, I'm like, bruh, I'm like, yo, I said, what's wrong? And he be like, I'm good, I'll be all right. And like after 3 days of me asking him, like on the third day, I was like, well, listen, if you want, I gave him my number and everything. I said, if you want to talk, just hit my phone up and I got you. Later on that evening, he pulled me over and he told me he had stomach cancer. I'm like, bruh, I felt it. Like I wanted to tell him I felt it. Like
Yeah, and
every
like
time
Queen
I
said,
walk past
we need
you,
to pray. We need to pray.
right?
And you
Like,
know, but people, like I said, we got to get out of self. When we get out of self, then just think we're gonna grow even more. We're gonna help them get where they need to be. You
right,
know, because I remember I was in church a couple Sundays ago, and it was a young girl beside me. And the more we went into prayer, when I tell you, it was like I couldn't even get a prayer through because I was like, Lord, what is it? Right?
right,
And the more I was trying to get myself where I needed to be, the more it seemed like my spirit was just draining because it was like I was having to fight to even push through in prayer. And when we finished, he kept saying, you got a word for her. And I was like, mm-mm. I was like, Lord, what is it? At the end, I had to give her that word because I had to be obedient. But I knew she had a heaviness on her.
right.
And that's why we can't go around and look at people and say what it seemed like and she seemed like. No, we got to say, you know what? When I face each and every person that I may encounter, I got to always be ready to be sensitive to what I'm feeling from them.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
And you know,
definitely.
and so how do you keep yourself out of just going into a deeper depression?
Um, you know what? My mother passed in 2011, but she was such a strong informational woman. She was also that, you know, she was the oldest of 13. So she was a
Mm,
mama since she was a kid, you know.
right,
So
right,
she always had that sense of being there for others and keeping her emotions separated. Now, I'm not going to say like I have my days where I struggle, but my friends and family know the way I deal with it, I'll cut you off
right.
because I am an emotional person. I do vibrate very high. So I hate to put off, I wouldn't even say my ill will, but I hate to put off what I'm going through. Sometimes you need to ask people if you can release on them.
Yeah,
Like if
yeah,
I'm going through something and I call you, I'm gonna be like, Donna, how was your day today? You good? I need to tell you something, but I just want
right,
to make sure your mind is right before I
right.
unleash my negativity.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Sometimes
'Cause
you have to ask.
you have to because I had a friend, they needed me. It was 11 o'clock at night. And she was like, sis, what are you doing? And I was like, just laying here watching TV. And I was like, what do you need? She was like, can I meet you? I was like, I'll be right there. And I told my late husband, he was like, you good? You need me to go? No, I'm good. I met her. We was in a parking lot and we didn't leave until she was better
Right.
because you don't have no time limit on when you trying to help a person. Even if
Right.
I just got to sit there, like you said, if you need to just talk 3 hours and I just sit there and be like, okay, so what can I help you do? But the thing about it is when you show up, you
Right.
have to show
That's
up. You can't
both.
show up and have your opinion. No, this is my feelings. This is how I'm feeling. And my thing is, when I talk to my girlfriends, when they telling us something and we all do it, we say, what I hear you saying is.
Right.
We
Right.
don't be like, girl, what you talking about? No. Let me make it clear. Like, is this is what I'm hearing you say?
Right. Is this
Because
what
then they give
you're
you a
talking about?
chance to say, nope, that's not what I mean. Okay, if it's not what you mean, make it plain to me because I want to understand.
Right. Right.
I want
And
to
we have to be
understand.
understanding. That's the thing.
Right.
We have to be understanding. Like your struggle and my struggle, it might not be the same, but just because your struggle might feel like it's harder than mine, you still have to be understanding to what I'm going through. You know, when
Absolutely.
you get to talking to people sometimes and you get to trying to confide in them and talk to them, and they be like, well, girl, I got hit by a car last year and broke my leg, and I'm okay. We're not talking about that right now.
Right.
What we talking about is what I'm going through.
Right, and
And what you
that's
can
what I'm
help
saying.
me get.
We have to listen with an open heart and an
Right.
open mind, and we have to stop. We are some of the selfish
Oh
people that
yeah.
we can be.
Yeah.
Because
It's true.
sometimes when I find myself getting in a place of being selfish, and it's okay to be selfish when it comes to certain things that you just won't compromise. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
With your boundaries. But when I start to feel myself like complaining about something, I'm like, girl, go sit your tail down somewhere. You don't have nothing to complain about because right now there's somebody else contemplating taking their life because they don't have nobody to talk
Right.
to.
Right. You're right. And
And
you know
so I
it's
always
very
have
humbling.
yeah,
It's very
that reality check for me.
humbling. I have had opportunity. I've had times where, like, I have a friend here.
Thanks, Shannon. Good night.
Yes. Good night. I have a friend here in Lynchburg, who lost her daughter, her 13-year-old daughter, to gun
Mm,
violence.
mm,
You feel me? Like,
yeah.
and I'm thinking, like, the day that I seen her, I was struggling. I was going through.
Mm,
I was in my feelings, and then I seen her, and I automatically thought, like, girl, all that you going through, but your kids are still alive. So pump your brakes a little bit, cause
mm-hmm.
your situation can be worse than what it is. And
Right,
it
right.
always that, like I said, God brought her through my path to
Mm.
snap me back from me
Yeah,
complaining about a bill or a car or
absolutely.
something man-made
Absolutely.
when this girl had to bury her daughter,
Her
her
baby.
baby.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it humbled me so quickly, and I'm
yeah,
trying to tell you,
yeah.
it turned my whole day around. It
Right.
literally, in that moment of me just speaking to her and asking her,
Mm-hmm.
hey, how you doing? Of course you know how she doing. Like, the struggle is real, but
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
friend, I still wanted to make sure I let her know, hey,
Right.
I'm here. You need
Yes,
anything,
yes,
I got you.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and that's what I want to tell you. Like you know how to reach me. If you ever need to chit chat, that's anybody on this line. If y'all need to talk, hey, text me and say, hey, I'm gonna call you through your inbox or whatever because I want to be
Right,
available.
right,
Even if I don't have words, I can listen and
right,
we can figure this out together. But at the end of the day, we got to be our brothers and sisters keepers because we
definitely.
we are losing a lot of people, and especially now in our African American community, to suicide. And and back in the day, growing up, if it happened, I was never aware that we took our own lives.
Right,
Being African Americans.
right,
And I'm not missing any other race. I'm just talking about us because we had a praying grandmother, a praying aunt. And so when we went through it, it just looked different. But
right,
now it's not looking different because more and more African American people are taking their lives like never before.
right. And
And I
it's
know suicide
scary.
is up everywhere, but I'm speaking on African Americans because we always were taught to pray, to pray, to pray. But you know what? Our family dynamics are changing. So,
Right. So what yeah. Same thing with overdose.
right,
Like,
right.
some people
You're right,
overdose.
Crystal.
They
We have
they
to
don't
be careful.
overdose because they hooked on drugs. They overdose because they depressed, and that's their way
Yes,
out.
yes, yes, yes. I been contemplating doing a topic on this fentanyl because I'm in class now, and I have a criminal law class, and just some of the videos and the information about how this drug has really like taken over.
Whew. Somebody had posted a video of all the people that died in Lynchburg and I was looking at the video like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness, we've lost like 25 people in the
we
last 2
yeah,
years to
we're
fentanyl.
losing. Yeah, and so I just gotta make sure it's the right time. I mean, it's never gonna be a right time, but I have to make sure I'm in a headspace
Right.
because I mean because in my
It's
little
it's
small
a soft
town in
subject. It's
Sanford, it's a lot of people,
right.
young people,
And it's
young people.
heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking.
Yeah, but I just, I'm so thankful for you coming on tonight,
I'm
sharing
grateful for you
everything that
having.
we shared. And, and one thing that I'm truly thankful is that we have to make sure we stay connected, like Crystal said, because depression is real. Everybody's out here trying to just do better, be better, love better, and we have to just making sure that we do this. Um, what Charlene
Me
said, I have
too.
to. What she say? I have to. But when they say thank you, ladies, I learned a lot from this interview. I appreciate the transparency much. Oh, thank you,
Thank
Charlene.
you.
And thank you so much. Now, I got to give her shout out too, because she always would send me these little emojis saying good morning, keep pushing. And that's what we need, people that's going to push us and not look for anything else in return. We got to stop always just like, can't you just say good morning? How are
Right,
you?
right, right,
And,
right.
and I'm just thankful. And, and like you said, one thing we must do is love. We gotta love, and it can't be that phony
Phony,
love.
fake love. Right, right. If it's really not coming from your heartbeat, I don't want it.
I don't want it, and I I was at work, and God gave me a sermon, and it was called "Do You Have the Delilah Spirit?" And
Mhm.
then the subtopic was, "Who you breaking bread with?"
Ooh,
If
right,
I want to know who I'm breaking bread with, because if you know me, right, just say you know me, but you may not care for me. And I'm okay with that. But at least let me know you don't care for me.
right,
Instead of sitting at the table trying to eat with me and
right,
knowing in your heart that you don't even care for me. And if you don't, it is okay. It is
right.
okay. I'm not going to love you even no less. I'm not going to treat you any kind of way. I'm still going to respect you. But you know what? I can stay out your
Yes,
way.
I will remove myself
I
from your
I
way.
can stay out your way and still know that, hey, it ain't no love lost. I'm just not your cup of tea. And I'm okay with that. And we have to learn to be that way. But at least be woman enough or man enough
To
to say, you know what,
say that.
I I
Same
just
thing,
really
same thing in marriages. Same thing in marriages. If
right.
you
I
don't love
really
me no
don't
more,
care
tell me.
about you. I don't know why. And even if you say you don't really care about me because you don't know why, I can accept that better than you sitting at my table and you still cutthroat.
Right.
Don't sit at my table knowing you don't like me. I
Facts.
don't care if you're friend, family, whoever. Don't sit at my table knowing that, because you know what? I'd rather know that she don't care for me. But you know what? When I see her, I can still be like, hey, Patty, how are you? And keep it
And
moving.
keep it moving.
And
Right.
keep it moving. But you know what? Don't sit and break bread with me knowing,
Yeah, you don't
bye-bye.
even, as soon as I turn around, you're gonna be rolling your eyes, sucking your
That
teeth, and calling
part.
me everything
That
behind.
part.
Right,
That part.
right,
Don't
right,
do it, because you know what? At the end of the day, that's how all this strife and all this happened. But if you already know of the gate that, hey, Donna don't care for me, then when you see me, you can speak and say, hey, Donna, how are you? And I can speak and keep it moving. And we ain't being fake.
right.
All we doing is being
Be,
cordial. You
that's
spoke
that's
to me, I
actually
spoke to
being
you.
real.
Right.
That's
I spoke to
real
you, you
talk.
spoke to me, and we don't owe each other nothing,
Mhm.
nothing. And at the end of the day, nobody can say, oh, well, she don't like. No, it's not that I don't like her. It's just that, you know what?
We
Me and her
don't
don't
see eye to
vibe.
eye. Right,
We don't vibe, and it's okay. It don't mean that I dislike you. It just means that we don't vibe. And if we don't vibe, that's good. But it ain't got to be a whole thing. Like, oh, when I walk into the room, oh, well, is Patty looking at? No, we're grown. We should be grown.
right, right.
We have to learn how to, be grown, because we have young adults coming up and they're watching us. Our children
Definitely.
are watching us. Our grandchildren are watching us. So we have to make sure we are carrying ourselves decent and in order at all times. All
Yeah.
times. If we want to be a little ratchet, let's be ratchet at home
Right.
with our peeps. You see
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right. Right. But
But when
when it's time to show out and be presentable, let's put our best foot forward. Put your best makeup
right.
on. Put your lip gloss and let's go and make
Oh,
that happen.
Jaquana, I'm so glad. She said, I love you. Thank you. I feel much better. Thank you, thank you, thank
Yes.
you.
Love you
I know,
too.
Crystal, we vibe. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We just gotta love each other. And like you said,
And
no
put forth
strings
and
attached.
put forth a little bit more effort.
Absolutely.
Ain't nothing wrong with
Absolutely.
trying, and
Absolutely.
and
I
there's
mean,
nothing wrong with being the first person to reach out. Everybody always like, she ain't called me, so I ain't calling her, and then you end up losing this person, and now what?
And because you know what? They may not be able to call you because they may be in a deep depression and they can't come out.
Right. So
So,
sometimes we have to put our pride to the side just to make sure other people are
girl,
making it through life.
and that pride is something else. But you know
Ooh,
what? People have it. And you know, and I found out that a lot of times when people are on their jobs or in their homes where they don't have power, they go to their jobs and try to exert that power because they're depressed, but they don't have nowhere to release it because if you got somebody at home that controlling you, you ain't finna control this at home.
right.
So when you come to work or your other places and you feel like you can dominate, that's what you're gonna do because you're depressed and you're just trying to say, you know what, I just need to find my voice.
Right.
And
Right.
if I got a little bit of control at work, then you, hey, that's how you get it. But at the end of the day, hey, if you're jacked up, just say, I don't have it all together. Because I'd rather to know you don't have it all together for you to parade around me and think you
And
got it
they,
together. And I already know
ooh,
you.
I'm trying to tell you, baby, because I'll be the first one. What? I drive an 87 Crown Vic.
Girl, did you
It's
get it fixed yet?
listen, yeah, I'm working on it. Listen, I didn't got this. I can't truly say I'm very blessed. Like I said, tonight will be my last night on third shift, so I'm definitely excited about that. I have
Yeah.
tomorrow off, but it's not a game. They throwing me straight to the wolves. They sending me to another store for 3 weeks, so
But you
I'm
got
excited.
this. You got this.
Yes, ma'am. And I feel like, all this hard work been paying off. I think I'm gonna go snatch me something off the lot. I think I'm gonna get me something I want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You deserve it.
Thank
You deserve
you.
it. And you can still get your Crown Vic fixed
Oh,
and,
you
you know, have that for you.
woo, baby. The summertime come out. Yes, ma'am. You know I'm gonna have it ready.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I love you, and I am just so proud of you. Can continue to exude your self-confidence. You truly is a joy to be around. I enjoy every time I'm around you. I really, really
Yes.
do. And that's
Thank
from the heart
you.
because you never change.
Thank
You
you.
never change. You never change.
And
Never
you
change.
have a sweet spirit, Miss Donna.
Thank you. Thank
Everybody,
you.
listen, say I feel stuff now. I hug on people, and when I hug on you, I feel it. And you definitely have a good
Oh,
spirit.
thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Hey, thanks, Tasha. And you know, I'm just now learning to accept what God has given me as far as my calling. And so it's been challenging, but
Oh
he's
yeah.
he's doing it, and I'm just gonna allow him to do it and not run.
Oh yeah. Definitely. You
That's
got
how
it. You
things
got it.
go. Yeah.
You
Well,
got it.
I love
Your
you.
personality alone speaks volumes. So you
Oh,
definitely.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, and you know, and that's one thing that I I value so much is because I have kids and
Right.
I have grandkids, and I am a mentor, and I don't ever want to disappoint the people that look up to me.
Right.
It's not about trying to think I'm this or that. It's just about I want my grandchildren, if nothing else, and my children to be proud to say, that's my mama,
Right.
or that's my Gigi, and that's my Mima.
Yeah,
And my
definitely.
mother to say that's my daughter, you know, and that's what means stuff to me.
Oh yeah.
You know what, do I want people to like me and enjoy being around me? Absolutely, but not at the cost of me shaming my people.
Right, right. And
I
being
can't do
that
it,
being
won't
that
do it.
you said that is so crazy. When people compliment me on how I was raised or my behavior or any, I call my daddy. I
Yeah.
do. I will call him and I'll be like, Dad, somebody told me that I was the best, well behaved. Like I let him know, hey,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Like, thank you for all that the hard lessons and the blessings. Like, thank you
Yes.
for all of that.
Absolutely.
Because it made me
Absolutely.
the person that I am
Girl,
today.
you
And
bet.
I love who I am.
You better say it. I mean, you know, like I was out there wilding out, but one thing I was like, I knew my grandma knew my always say, if you cross this line, don't call me if you go to jail because you already know. And so for me, those voices stay with me. And
Right,
so, and that's the way I raise my children. And you know, and so like I said, at the end of the day, my only concern is making sure I'm the best version of me so I can be the best mom, me, my Gigi,
right.
that I can be and have them be proud of me. When people talk about me, I want my kids to know that wow, my mom is truly, truly amazing.
Oh yeah.
Not just to
And
me,
that
but to
you
other.
are.
and not just to other people. And that's what matters to me. Do I want to have all these other stuff that I got going on? Absolutely. But I will give it all up if it means that I'm tarnishing my children and my
Right.
grandkids. That's real talk,
Right.
because those are your people.
Right. Your legacy.
Yeah, those
Your
are your
bloodline.
people. Girl, they be talking about some young Gigi out here dropping it hot and rolling over. Girl, bye. But no, it's been real. I love you, girl,
I love you too. Thank you so much for
but
having
I'm gonna take you up on that. But I'll text you first and be like, listen, I feel like having a sewing night.
Yes. Well, listen, baby, I'm on first shift now, so we good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I just need to, like I said, this. And look, my neighbor was so good. She even took mine and made sure everything was working and let me
Working
use
right.
her. Girl, she even gave me the little head thing that
The
got the light on that
light
showed
on
me
the,
how to.
oh, she gave you a headlamp. Oh, it's not a game. It's not a game.
Yeah. And I'm like, girl, you better learn how to get this sewing machine. But I'm telling you, because I know me, once I get it, because I'm hands on. And
Right.
once I get it, it's gonna be on and popping.
All
It's gonna
right.
be.
Well, listen, I would definitely hit you up and we're going to do some,
Yes,
like
yes.
I said, I don't know everything, so maybe we can learn some things together.
If you just give me the basics, if I get the basics, how to like
Thread it and all
thread,
of that. Oh, I
put
got
the
you.
bobbin
I
in,
got
if I can get that, hey, if I have to take the seam out, do it again, I can do that. But I just got to get the basics. And that's the thing that I'm afraid. Getting the basic, like putting the thread, trying to get the thing. But like you said, I don't have an excuse because my neighbor already gave me a headlamp.
right. And listen, now you really don't have an excuse because you got me on your line.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes. So I will, but I love you and I will see you soon.
I love you too.
All
Thank you for
right.
thank you
But
everybody for tuning in.
yes,
Good
yes.
night.
Good night, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Hot Topics with Donna. I truly enjoyed Patty and I. Um, I'm just thankful. I enjoy all my guests because, like I said, you never know where we're going to go, topics we're going to touch. But the main thing is, on here on Hot Topics with Donna, we like to keep it honest, open, and transparent. It's not about shaming anybody or making anybody feel shame, but we do interview ordinary people doing extraordinary things in their lives and in their communities. And that's what this podcast is about. And guys, I'm truly thankful. We're almost 3 years in running. We're going to be doing some revamping pretty soon. And so I'm excited about that. And then for those of you that's on here, as you know, I've been entered into that 40 Fab. So please, 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 if you haven't went and voted for me, please do so. The last time I checked today, I was in 7th place. So I'm truly excited about that. And so just make sure you're reaching out to your peoples. Love people while they're here. People are leaving every single day, and we have to check on people. And like some of you, well, a lot of my close friends know, I lost someone very dear to me in September, and it really rocked my world. And so I'm still trying to recover from that. But like I said, death does not discriminate. You do not know when it's coming. I was just with that person, and on the 20th, they had passed away. And so love people while we're here. If you know people that you haven't spoken to that you may think that's depressed, reach out to them. Reach out to them. And as Patty said, I said, and people on here said, depression is real. Don't let anybody tell you that it's different. It is real. It is real. And we have to check on our people to make sure they're okay. Hey, sister-in-law. And we just need to know that you got somebody to talk to. If you need to text me, inbox me. Like Patty said, inbox her. But when people go through, they shut down because I am one of those people. When I go through, I shut down. And that's one thing that my mom always get on me about is stop shutting down because people are here. I love you. You can talk to me, but that's how I process it. But once I shut down, then she still makes sure that I'm okay. And it's okay if you shut down, but don't stay that way. And that's the thing that I'm learning to not do shut down and stay shut down for a long period of time. But thank you guys for tuning in to Hot Topics with Donna. I will be back on Thursday, and we're going to be talking about um, people that are narcissistic. And so that's going to be an interesting topic. So I hope you guys come back and join in. But until then, I love you. Stay safe, love yourself, and love each other. Bye. Thank you, Patty. So you guys have a great day.